Coach, we find ourselves at the foot of the Rockies, Denver, Colorado, for this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Denver Broncos. Returning it, Carlos Henderson. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. On 2nd down, here's Carr. Pass incomplete. There was the free safety to Sean Gibson, who was able to range over and knock it away.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Working from the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a 1st down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Get set.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. But he will find his man for the first time, Demaryius Thomas. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, a 22.
He's come a long way since his time at Georgia Tech. What did he run at Tech? He ran hitches and go routes, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, but he ran them really well. He averaged well over 20 yards a catch while he was there. And he still creates downfield in the NFL. That big body and that willingness to go catch the football. He's pretty impressive.
And his friends call him Bebe, the nickname his uncle gave him back in the day. Carr to throw on 2nd down. Flushed out right. He'll find Sutton on the right side, complete. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
Carr going to try and throw on 3rd down. Well, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
That's a good job there, creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. So a pretty good opening drive. That'll make the home fans somewhat happy. They wanted 6, but they got 3 in the early lead.
And they should be happy. The guys look good getting down the field. That's got to give them a little bit of hope that good things are in store here today for them.
And to no one's surprise here in Denver, that'll carry through the back of the end zone for a touchback. On the ground, this is Leonard Fournette. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
Now Prescott. Going to throw right side here, complete. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. A second down throw for Prescott. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. And a nice gain of 21 yards. So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 41. Here's a give to Fournette. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
Dumps it off to Fournette. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10.
46.
Prescott from the gun. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Sua Cravens with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
Now after the INT, it's Carr. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he's able to get this across the 10 before being taken down. They needed some breathing room. He gave it to them. 11 yards and a 1st down. Out from the shadows of their goal line. Here's 1st and 10 from the 11. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Look at this. Middle of the field. A breakaway. 30. The 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. 89 yards. And the Broncos able to show off their quick strike ability. Extra point from McManus is good. And the lead grows to 10-0. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Sua Cravens with a pick. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they're throwing an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Malik Jackson there to make the stop.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Express. Deuce right.
To throw on second down. Carr. He's going to loft one deep left side. And this is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Jake Butt, his first touchdown on the year. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. And he'll bang that one through. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy. One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On second down, here's Fournette. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Derek Wolfe there on the tackle.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Fournette, a first down carry. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. A gain of 3, second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
Let's go, get out, get out. Here we go, 46. 26.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And for the 3rd time here this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Kayvon Webster. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They fake the handoff. Now Carr. He's going to let this one go deep. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. A gain of 39 that time.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. And he's got this one just across midfield to the 49. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
A 2nd down carry for Booker. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Following the interception, here's Prescott. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Prescott, he's going to loft one deep left side here. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
An attempt at a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. So the Broncos coming out now. And in enemy territory last time through the interception. We'll see what they do on this drive.
Can't wait to see how it alters what they decide to do in play calling. Do they continue to throw the ball? Do they want to lean more on the running game? It'll be an interesting sequence of plays that they've got coming up.
Does it often affect the play calling with the interception? How much does that change what you do?
I think it does depending on why the interception was thrown.
But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, A.J. Boye with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Cooper was the target there.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Prescott looks to throw on 1st. He'll set up the screen to Fournette. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the 1st.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
A 1st down throw for Prescott. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
And he takes this in the red zone all the way inside Denver's 15. And that one results in 35 yards. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Denver right after this. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Prescott on 1st down. And the Broncos get there and take him down. DeMarcus Walker in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. That's going to set him back 5 yards. And that false start penalty is certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Prescott to throw it. He's going to go up top. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Brandon Marshall. And he will take it on out to the 20-yard line. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
They're watching the film, and it's working. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Flush to his right. Carr can beat you in a lot of ways. The scramble there, a perfect example as he gets the first. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Carr now on 1st down. And he will not get away from the pressure here. Carr taken down.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. On 4th down on now is the lefty Ryan Allen to punt. He was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Taken in at the 22. We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. So we're at halftime here in Denver with the Broncos leading this one. As now we send you out to Orlando and hook back up with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Broncos with a lead, and they will be receiving this kickoff here as quarter 3 is underway. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as he'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. And that is incomplete. The intended receiver, Taywan Taylor, and it's 3rd and 5.
Well, they're slinging it, and then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
That came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach, and incomplete.
46.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller in there to get him. Sack number 14 for him on the year. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Looking to throw on second down. Carr, he's going to sling this deep. He's got a man, complete. There he goes, Amari Cooper. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Amari Cooper, 81 yards. And the Broncos will extend their lead. It took them a while to get their speedster involved, but they found him downfield there.
And what we've discovered as we've watched games is the speedster doesn't have to have a lot of catches, doesn't have to have volume in order to have a huge impact on the game. His speed scares the heck out of defenses, and other guys can capitalize, but when you finally hit him and he carries it all the way into the end zone, that's what you're paying him for. That big threat that can make big plays on a limited number of catches.
That's how you step on the stage with your first catch. Take it to the house. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Ball on the 30 as they come up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Prescott on 2nd and 10. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 46. And he's going to take this one back to the 37-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatile. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. A great play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season. And the Broncos turn that interception into a touchdown. McManus's point after is good, and the lead will swell by one more. Now McManus on to kick this one off. This one taken just inside the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point.
46.
Second down, Prescott. He sets to fire deep. That's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And the Broncos get there and take him down. DeMarcus Walker, he's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And the Jaguars send out their punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. That one 28 yards on the ground.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
And nobody leaked. Big play. Trey Hendrickson, the one who gets him on the ground.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And some room to work. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. Solid gain of 18 yards and a Denver first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And they'll go on the ground. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be, but we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Throwing his car on third down. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 20. And he will take this all the way up past the 40-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And he's got his man on the out route. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air,
he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. Justin Ellis forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. throwing. Prescott. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Fournette finding through. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really.
And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Sua Cravens with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Broncos from deep in their own territory. And coming out now, the Broncos. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, oh, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Welcome back now to Denver. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The Broncos on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. Now Carr. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you could put yourself in jeopardy.
Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Prescott again. Looking downfield for Kelp. And got his man complete. A very solid gain of 27. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to...
And now here's another interception. Picked off by Buster Screen. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Count them now, 6 interceptions between last week and this week. Now, the 3 picks last week helped them to a win. They're in the driver's seat once more.
And they're the ones that are doing all the leading, aren't they? Right? The 3 interceptions last week, that led to a victory. 3 interceptions so far in this game, that has them out in front. They often think of the...
Demaryius Thomas. He's at the 30, 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Demaryius Thomas, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Broncos add on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Here we go. Wide 8.
Play action now. Prescott going for the deep ball. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. They take a shot downfield there, but it winds up falling incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. It'll be a net of 40 yards following a punt of 44. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
This is Freeman on first and 10. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a second and 1.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down fourth quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs. Right back to him on first down. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a second and 11. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And they're going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Extra point from McManus is good. And that will extend this big lead. Now McManus on to kick this one off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now out come the Jags. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. They'll run it again with Fournette. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. DeMarcus Walker there on the stop. And this defense continues to give them fits. They just can't get really anything going on the ground, can they?
I love the theme that you just brought up. This defense has been tough all game long against the run. We just saw another example of it there.
You go 46.
On 3rd and 1, here's Prescott. Now a desperation throw. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marcus Gilchrist. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes.
Here we go. Five down. Stand up. What's up?
And they'll indeed take a knee. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for the Broncos, the win gets them a step closer to 500 at 5-6. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, the problems just get worse and worse as they fall to 2-9 now on the year. And they'll be at home for one next week against the Oakland Raiders.